Okay, welcome back to the Israel-Palestinian conflict part 2. We have already talked about what this conflict is about, which started on October 6, 2023, when there was a surprise attack on Saturday. We would like to analyze it further from different angles, understanding who all are the players. But before going further, let us discuss about the history of Israel-Palestinian conflict. So, Dr. Khurana, I would like you to throw some light from where it has actually evolved and why this conflict has happened as a surprise. Was Palestinian planning or Hamas planning it since so long? Or there are other parties which are involved? Or there is something at a very big level going at the geopolitical level? So we would like to understand that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kalra. This is a very unfortunate event which happened on 6 October, and where probably 1,000 plus people who may have been members of the Hamas organization attacked unprovoked into the southern Israel. They killed indiscriminately people in the party, in homes, and so on. Though we have to remember that there are no videos or photographs released by Hamas. So what we all have is, which is pre-censored by the IDF, and in fact the briefings are being given by the people from the armed forces. Many of the external media organizations have also been asked to back up their bureaus, Al Jazeera, which used to take some stand balance on the both sides. So that is what our source of information is. And that source of information says that this was an unprovoked attack. There were X thousand rockets, kind of homemade, not very sophisticated, but inexpensive, which were fired and indiscriminately left over places and indiscriminately died. Now, in the process, Palestinians took about 200. They say 199 or something. In this case, about is all right, because nobody has seen who they are, nobody has a list of who they are. So about 200 hostages they took back to the territory, Gaza. And while the Israel forces did not pursue them into Gaza, whosoever was there in the Israel seemed to have been killed. Again, there is no information from Mars, but this number is something like twice of what the number of Israelis were taken. Though it's unfortunate, one doesn't want to say it's only 1,000, it's only 2,000. Deaths are deaths, families get destroyed, a lot of atrocities take place. And such acts, anyway, then encourage revenge, which is a bad policy, which is a bad diplomacy, which is a bad policy for nations to follow. To the extent that Mr. Joe Biden, when he went and met the PM of Israel 2 days after that, said, don't follow the 9/11 strategy. Don't follow the rage strategy. US had got enraged 9/11, went and destroyed how many countries, how many million people, whose fault was not there, nothing to do with that. Now, similarly, if one is seeing it in a balanced fashion, about 2.3 million Palestinians who are there in the Gaza Strip, half of them are children. Why? Because the adults got killed in a number of other conflicts. We have put down on a graph since at least 2000 something, and the number of Palestinians and Israelis killed every year. So the bottom line is that the Israelis started indiscriminately firing this time, and the estimates given by them are total 5,000 plus dead, out of which about 3,500 is Palestinians. The latest rocket attack which took place on the hospital, which is debated who has done it, right? And so separately we'll talk about it. What the evidence says is that 500 people died. And Israel did two things which we have to keep in mind. Israel asked them to vacate Gaza, go towards southern Gaza, a part of it which is closer to Egypt, and leave. Now, where would 1.2 million people they asked to leave go? Because their intention is to come and do physical offensive into the Gaza and destroy anything they can find, except their own hostages. Now, having said this, there are a number of other things related to it. Now, what is the historical issue here? The historical issue is that said that about 2000 years ago, the Romans invaded and made the Israelites, let's put it that way, because there was no country like that, leave. And the Romans acquired this, some people there. We know that there are three major shrines there. There are others too, but for Jewish and Western Church is also there. I sometimes don't pronounce it properly, so I'm not saying it Al something. The mosque is there, from where the Prophet is supposed to have left for heaven and sent his instructions. So it is a place of three major religions. But neither the Palestinians were fully in control of this, nor the Israelis were in control of it till 1947. 47 also the UN resolution says that this will be an international city.
There was some British mandate also.
Yes, I'll come to it in a few minutes. So the whole history is that. Having said the whole history, then 1917, while the Ottoman Empire was still quite strong and the First World War takes place, this area has Palestinians and very few Jews. By the ratio of 1 to 20, 30, 40. And the Ottoman Empire melts down, and the whole of the Arab world, in a sense, including what is Israel now, is distributed between French and British. And it is at that time that the Secretary of State of UK, Balfour, writes a letter to Rothschild, which later on gets known as a declaration. It's not a treaty. It's not something between this country and that country or this group of countries. It is the UK portion of the Arab world, French world in Syria and other places, where they say that there will be a home for the Jews, and also the next line is for the Palestinians. Now that second line is what we make the question mark till today. In between number of UN resolutions come, accords come, whatnot. And that is the seed of the problem. That the beginning of that it can be the home for Jews.
Jews and Palestinian were given together the home. That's the seed of the problem you want to say.
No, that's the seed because it was a Palestine otherwise, right? There was no Israel at that time. So starting from 1917, there was no Israel. Nor is there a pure Palestinian state. Except that it is a protectorate. And the UK are the protectors. So it's a formal protectorate by League of Nations.
Right.
Of UK.
There was something like PIO, PLO, I'm not remembering exactly.
I'm coming to that now. So now therefore let's understand the word Palestine. Okay. So the word Palestine or Philistine has been in existence, and it is in Jewish documents and the Bible too. So these are not new entities or new group of people, right? So there is an ethnicity about them. They are, you can say original, if it is 2000 years plus, residents of this area. Okay, and they were fairly well established cities and so on, which I'll come to just in a moment, connecting it to 1917. So now by 1917, the Ottoman Khalifas had built a fair amount of infrastructure. And there is a difference or a counter thing about Turkey being the lord and protector of Islam, or the Ottoman Empire being so. Belgium is the Turkish anyway, or the Saudi Arabian, which comes later. Saudi Arabia is not yet formed in 1917. Okay, and so they make from Istanbul and Damascus trains to Makkah, Medina. So Makkah, Medina, they are not giving up to the Wahhabis at that time. Okay? This Ottoman empires are called Khalifas, and there was a Khilafat movement also. India was involved. So bottom line is that the Ottoman Empire is very wide, starting from Spain, all of the Arab and it melts away and gets divided between European powers, but primarily between the French government and this area of Palestine. And now we see the picture what was it at that time and how it changes over a period of time. Now, simultaneously about that time, there is a gentleman who was Austrian. The Austro-Hungary Empire was also there, which kind of starts breaking during First World War, but completely breaking Second World War. Who started the Zionist movement, right? It is basically the movement for the pure, that's the meaning. Meaning is good. Currently, it is considered, very conservative about it and very strict about it, and as if they are like the terrorists also, if not terrorists, militant. No, not terrorists, but militant in favor of the Jews. So that movement starts. It is supported by rich Jews of Europe. And then Rothschild, Baron Rothschild, I think both citizenship, French and UK, is the one who negotiates, and he gives money on the asking of the British government to pay for the First World War. Sometimes it's loan, sometimes it's subsidy, as the thing is there. Is that this is the basic sum and substance of it that will be on for the Jews. It doesn't define it boundaries, it doesn't define it. Okay. If you go to the next step then, is that these discussions will take place. Some Jews will start coming from Eastern Europe, especially Northwestern Europe, and after Second World War, when the Jews have been persecuted by Hitler, they filter on to Israel. So now, what we call today Israel. So 1947, there is a UN resolution which says there should be a home for them and there should be a home for the Palestinians. So they, at that time, carve out an area. Let's see the picture of that, where Jews can make their home. Okay, and in 1947, finally, there will be a resolution of the UN where they say this will be the home for Israel and this will be the home for Palestinians. But the Palestinians don't agree to it because most of their area gets given to Israelis. And the numbers are 600,000 Jews and 4 times that Palestinians, right? But they get very small portion of land and also bad land. And the good land is given to Israel. Now, 48 itself, therefore, there is a fight which takes place. So you can say that is the first.
And since then, the things are very sour among both the nations.
No, there have been number of attempts.
And
we can look at the actions and so on because there was a Palestinian Liberation Organization.
Yes, there was a role of Yasser Arafat.
Yeah, and then there was the Camp David Accords. Camp David being the summer home, holiday home of the US, and the Oslo Accords. So these have been the accords. And between that, there have been skirmishes-wise more than 2 dozen, right? Because now we have to talk about the countries around, who are the actors around, and similarly actors around in the Palestinian side. So when this happens, it is a great achievement of the Zionist movement, right? So they are very happy. They have had persecution in Germany, Eastern Europe, Poland, etc., etc. And the Jews start filtering towards the side. Not much, but I'll tell you, there are very, very good cities there. Very good forts, for example. Forts. Haifa is one of them. And Jaffa was one of the cities. So the Ottomans had made very good infrastructure. So this is the territory in between, which is not under the control of any other ruling power. The rest is mostly sheikhs. Okay? And before the oil came, they were poor. It's only the oil which made them rich. Hardly any other minerals also. Okay. Egypt is different. Okay. So, now, since part of the boundary of this Palestine, let's call it original Palestine, okay, is touching Egypt near the Suez Canal, via the Sinai Peninsula, and then Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, at that time called Transjordan, before the Second World War, and then Jordan. At least these are immediate neighbors. Okay. So, Palestinians don't have a state of their own, but they have well-wishers around, which are Arabs. However, since they don't have a state, therefore, how do they manage it? Whatever they have. And with every war, Israel's area will keep on expanding. And they will keep on getting squeezed. And they will keep on becoming refugees in their own country.
They have been refugees since then only.
They have been refugees in their own country. Okay. And the numbers change today. 6 million Jews are there, but most of it, a lot of it is immigration. And Palestinians are also there. 6 million. Okay. Now, they are concentrated in the small strip of Gaza, which is 2.4 million. Then West Bank, 2.4 million. Then about 2 million spread around in this country, the refugees, other countries. Okay. So this is the focus of the problem.